chance to do here this afternoon, and that is not only go back-to-back state championships, but back-to-back undefeated seasons with a 49-game winning streak on the line. John Bishop, Kevin Suits here for the Class B championship. Seward has been absolutely dominant this year. The closest anyone has played them all season long. Pius X way back at the beginning of the season, just a 5-point victory. But after that, it's been dominating.
That was the only single-digit game that they played the entire season. So Seward, dominant. I think that's the only word we can really use to describe this. Their average margin of victory is over 25 points per game. They've made their 2 wins here in the state championships almost look easy. They've been by 20 or more. So Seward, clearly, I think you have to rule them as the favorite against Gretna, even though this is a state championship. No disrespect to Gretna, but this Seward team, some people feel they could compete in Class A, maybe win it.
Well, Gretna, speaking of competing, they have done a fantastic job this year, only losing 3 games. All 3 of those came to either a Class A Elkhorn or twice to Omaha Skutt, a team that qualified in Class B. So they know how to play against good competition. It's just, how do you gauge now relatively in competition if Seward is that much better, as you intimated, than just about everyone else? There are a lot of people that truly believe that Seward could not only play very well in Class A, but probably win it.
Yeah, so I don't know how you really gauge where Gretna stands in this matchup. I can say yesterday they played Alliance, and the top overall player in the state and in the class, Jordan Hooper, and they really controlled that game. They made Hooper have a quiet 20-some-odd points, if that's even possible to have a quiet 20-some points, but they found a way to really beat Alliance pretty soundly.
We'll be back with the Class B championship game. It's Seward and Gretna next on 1011 and NET Sports.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear, and it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
This fall on PBS, director Ken Burns changes parks. Don't miss the all-new 10th inning of baseball.
Coming this fall to NET1.
(24-0) Seward versus 22-3 Gretna for the Class B Girls State Championship. As we mentioned in the outset, Seward has not really been seriously challenged this year, and you have to wonder what happens if they eventually do face some adversity. Do they have enough to overcome? Well, first you got to get them in that position, and unfortunately that is sometimes easier said than done with so many good players, and you're going to see a lot of folks on the floor for both these teams. Gretna and Seward are very deep squads, but the players to watch out for are Lisa Camphouse, all-stater, big 6'4" senior who is so impressive, and also Emily Cady for Seward. For Gretna, well, Brooke Arp, the offense runs through her, the 6-foot junior averaging 14 points a game. But as I said, these two teams can come at you in waves. We'll see whose waves crash on the shores and make the biggest impact. It's time for the Class B championship. Here's public address announcer Doc Weiniger.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Nebraska School Activities Association, its member schools, and U.S. Bank, welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for the Class B State Championship game. Today's game features the Seward High School Lady Jays versus the Dragons of Gretna High School. And now, let's meet the players and coaches competing in today's game. First, the non-starters for the visiting team, the Seward High School Lady Jays. Number 12, Grace Smetter. Number 14, Tiffany Alvarez. Number 20, Hannah Taverdi. Number 22, Jordan Seaman. Number 24, Taylor Wissing. Number 34, Katie Hughes. And number 42, Courtney Zagina. And now the non-starters for the home team, the Gretna Dragons. Number 0, Megan Cruz. Number 4, Monica Crockett. Number 12, Megan Dennis. Number 14, Emily Fleming. Number 22, Nicole Andrews. Number 32, Kelsey O'Neill. Number 34, Jordan Meadows. And now the starting lineup for the Seward Lady Jays. A 5'5" senior number 10, Natasha Mueller. A 6'2" junior number 30, Emily Cady. A 5'5" sophomore number 32, Beth Boslavsky. A 5'7" senior number 40, Laurel Wagner. And a 6'4" senior number 55, Elisa Camphouse. Head coach for the Lady Jays is Tom Taverdi, assisted by Greg Miller, Shane Gallagher, Jessica Owens, and Brittany Hayek. And now the starting lineup for the Gretna Dragons. A 5'4" senior number 2, Kathy Edmondson. A 6' junior number 10, Brooke Ark. A 5'8" junior number 20, Hallie Samuelson. A 5'10" sophomore number 40, Jordan Wallenberg. And a 5'8" senior number 50, Hillary Stober. Head coach for the Dragons is Jerome Scudler, assisted by Jeff Hahn, John Swanson, and Janelle Bellina. Today's game officials are Randy Coyle, Brent Grable, and Todd Rosno. And now, ladies, let's play basketball.
So here we go, Gretna and Seward for the Class B championship. Two teams, even though they're only separated by about 60 miles, did not play each other during the season. Seward going for a record 50 wins in a row in Class B. Whereas Gretna, with just 3 losses, as we mentioned earlier this year, you saw, as Kevin mentioned earlier, taking out Alliance 58-39, limiting Jordan Hooper to just 24 points, but it was a very quiet 24 points as they were able to funnel things away from her and dominate that basketball game. Before we get the tip-off, let's head down to the third member of our crew, Dan Hedman. Dan?
Yeah, guys, one thing to keep an eye on here, obviously Seward can light it up, 70 points a game. You know, they can score inside, they can score outside, but talking with the Gretna coaching staff, they realize that. They just want to take one of them away. I asked him which one. He said, we don't want them to hit 3-pointers because that builds so much momentum. So look for Elisa Camphouse and Emily Cady to be big down low, but they're going to smother those perimeter shooters. Guys?
Emily Cady will jump center for Seward. Seward sporting the road jerseys. Cady is listed as 23, but she's wearing 30. And right off the tip, Boslavsky gets it and almost had an easy, quick layup. That almost broke the record for our fastest score. We had a 4-second score right off the opening tip in our first game today.
Hey, you rarely see that, but both these teams, I mean, wanting to score first and push the tempo early.
And I think Seward had an indication with the athleticism of Cady. They knew they were going to win the tip. I guarantee you they probably had something drawn up going, all right,
I was just wondering the same thing.
This is what we want to do. We're going to put Boslavsky right over here, tip it to her, and she's gone. Boslavsky. She doesn't look like much physically. She's a very slightly built, but man, is she tough. Really impressed with her last year, and she continues to show tough, gritty determination. She's number 32 for Seward. Here's Camphouse down low. The All-Stater scores.
That's hard to stop right there. That's one of the reasons they're really good, because they have that inside presence of Camphouse, and if Camphouse isn't on, it's usually Emily Cady.
Jordan Wollenberg up top.
But again, remember what Dan said. Dan said that Gretna, I think, is willing to give Seward some shots inside.
Haley Samuelson with the 3 to give Gretna the lead. And a foul coming into the backcourt, trying to trap Boslavsky on the sideline, but to no avail. So Edmondson with the foul, the first of the game. It won't be too uncommon to see Seward with relatively low scoring opening periods. They usually like to assert themselves defensively, and then they just kind of wear you out and eventually pull away. Unlike some of the great South Sioux City teams of the past, where they would come out and attack both offensively and defensively and try to blow you out in the first 8 minutes, Seward is a little more methodical, but then once you get past the second quarter into the third quarter, they absolutely just wear you out.
Yeah, that's the way they feel they can set the tone. And Tom Taverdi, he's a technician. You know, he really wants to, he preaches a lot of fundamentals. This team is not all that flashy. I mean, they have a lot of great scoring options. They can shoot the 3, they can play inside, but ultimately they play really good defense, and they try to keep you probably under around that 35-point range. And if that's the case, odds are Seward's going to score more than 35 a night. That's how they win.
Wollenberg nearly bringing down the roof with that high arcing 3-pointer in the offensive rebound, and another opportunity here for Gretna. High lob down low, found her open, but a little too far underneath the basket was Hillary Stover as Camphouse was playing the defense. Cady into the front court for Boslavsky, right up and through. She'll go to the free throw line. See what I mean? She's not big, but
she's fiery.
She's aggressive.
And she caught a lot of people off guard last year in the state championship game in particular. Here at state, there were a lot of people that hadn't seen Beth play last year as a freshman, and they were just really surprised at her athletic skill. She is, you know, she doesn't look like much at first glance, but you watch her play for about 5 minutes. A lot of people fall in love with her, just her style of play. Scrappy, gritty, dives after loose balls, can distribute the basketball, and as you can see there, she can take it to the hoop pretty strong.
Jerome Scudler, the head coach of Gretna, you saw him for a moment. And Seward with the 2 Boslavsky free throws is back up 4-3. Wollenberg and Stover. Trying to find a way through. Kind of a modified little baby hook runner there, but Wollenberg having to shoot it over the top of Camphouse. Comes up empty.
Here comes the double team.
Look to the corner, wide open. And they're going to call the foul there, I believe, on Cady. She came over the top, tried to knock that rebound away. And Cady whistled with the foul. Cady really, again, mentioning Jerome Skrdla earlier, his team won the state championship back in 2006. But this year, he only returned 2 starters, which kind of makes that 20-3 run he's had so far look even more impressive.
And heading into this game, I was really curious to see what Coach Skrdla was going to do against Seward. And everybody's tried about everything at this point in time, but with no success. So I'm curious, at the championship level, what does he have up his sleeve? We've seen an unexpected double team just right across midcourt already. That's one sign that, you know, he's willing to go into a bag of tricks and try some non-traditional things to try to get Seward out of its rhythm.
Rotating around, Wagner through. Camphouse nearly had it, tipped it, and we'll have no free throws. Foul is on the floor. So a couple of opportunities there for Seward, and the foul's going to be on Haley Samuelson. Her first, and the third team foul against Gretna. I was going to mention earlier, Emily Cady, just a junior, already attracting at least some initial interest from Division I programs, including Nebraska, with her abilities. Good inside-outside presence as she will take a seat here for the Blue Jays. Boslavsky weaves her way in. She walked.
think she picked up her dribble about a step too soon, right when she crossed that free throw line.
But as she plays very fast.
You just mentioned Emily Cady and her chances of potentially playing at Nebraska. We do have a final from the women down at K-State today. The Huskers victorious 82-72 over Kansas State, completing the regular season with a perfect 29-0 record.
Fantastic season for Connie Yori and the Huskers. I can't say enough how absolutely amazing that is. If you'd have given me 100-to-1 odds on that happening, I still wouldn't have bet on it.
And John, I gotta tell you, you do a fantastic job with the PA at those games. You could hear John getting the fans riled up all season long with the Lady Huskers, and it's probably been a joy for you to see this place just continue to get filled as the season wore on.
Oh, absolutely. But I tell you, not much that I do. It's the fan energy that's brought into this building, and you wonder how that carries over. I mean, you see how in major college sports, if the home state team is doing very well, how it kind of brings more people into playing the sport at the high school level, as folks want to dream about playing for that program. I think Nebraska volleyball is a classic example, and you wonder at what point the success of this one magic season for Nebraska women's basketball is going to carry over into girls state high school basketball. We'll take a break. Or actually, we will not. First period, low scoring affair. We kind of expected it early on, with Seward leading it 4-3. Back with more of the Class B championship right after this.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman, and I'd like to visit with you about considering an estate gift to support NET programming into the future. If you want your legacy to live on in Nebraska, you can accomplish your goal by leaving a generous estate gift to the NET Endowment Fund. Call me today to discuss your legacy gift to the NET Foundation.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center. Seward leads the Class B Finals 4-3 over Gretna. You know, guys, a lot has been made about Seward's winning streak up to 49 games now. One thing lost in the shuffle, I think, is point guard Beth Boleslavsky. She's a sophomore, which means she's never lost a game. Chance at a second straight state title for her today.
Well, with some of the talent coming back with her again next year, assuming, of course, they win today, she may go another 25 games next year without suffering a defeat. Boleslavsky with the ball right now. She'll take it in and finds her wide open teammate. That's what a good guard can do for you. Make space on the floor and open things up for the shooters underneath, and in this case, Elisa Camphouse. Her second field goal, she's got 4, and Seward's got a 6-3 lead.
This team plays so well together, Seward does. You can tell it kind of all runs through that guard play, and it's not just Boleslavsky, but we see Tasha Mueller on the floor right now. Jordan Seaman was on there a moment ago.
3 to tie. No good, and still Lady Dragons trying to find some presence underneath, and that's hard to do, especially against Camphouse and Emily Cady. Outlet down the floor, 3 on the way. Too strong by Megan Dennis, and the basketball is going to stay in the hands of Gretna.
Well, one thing Gretna needs to do right about now is try to string together consecutive buckets, just try to build some momentum. They're kind of dead in the water right now. This game's far from over. We're not going to crown Seward a champion. We're not going to do that early at all, because this game's still 3-point contest, but you got to keep in mind the way Seward plays, 3 points can sometimes equate to 10 points.
Runner,
so
nicely done.
That's why a few buckets right about now, just to build some momentum, get out of that 3-point funk, because they were stuck there for quite a while.
Dennis, good strong physical move to the basket. And Seward's lead is back down to 1. Cady kicks it out. Slosky looks underneath for Cady.
Good seal by Katie. She had her defender, Monica Crockett, right on her hip, but was able to keep the seal, get the ball, and go up strong.
Lost it on the dribble, and now the break. Natasha Miller all the way home. Yes, Natasha Miller with her first two. And it's 10-5 Blue Jays. Monica Crockett and Hillary Stover. Three, catch and shoot, no. Camphouse had the rebound, still loose on the floor, and a foul as Brooke Arp, I believe. Yep, Brooke Arp colliding with Katie.
You know, I think that's the first time we've said Brooke Arp's name. She's had a fantastic state tournament. She's one of the top players in the class. See if Gretna could get her involved when they get the ball back.
Arp scored 20 in the quarterfinal win over Beatrice, 19 in the semifinal win over Alliance. Three from the top of the key is good, Natasha Mueller.
And that's Seward. You know, you put your head down or go to the refrigerator for a quick few minutes, you come back. It was just 5-3, now it's 13-5. They open up an 8-point lead in just the blink of an eye.
Still, Lady Dragons trying to find some kind of a presence in the paint. That high arcing three splashes down. Jordan Wallenberg.
I'll tell you, the one thing we can learn about Gretna is they're not bashful from beyond the arc. They've chucked up about 4 straight threes now.
Well, let's face it, if you're going to pull the upset, you're going to need to hit on a few of those.
And upsets have been known to happen here at the Devaney Center on Championship Saturday.
Camphouse literally able to just to camp down in the paint and wait for that opportunity. And a 30-second timeout taken by Jerome Scudler. And the Gretna Dragons down 15-8.
You know, keep in mind, John, we've seen mighty teams fall here on this stage. Most notably last year. Everybody thought Lincoln Southeast and their undefeated run, they were untouchable. They were considered maybe the best team ever assembled in high school girls state basketball in Nebraska. They lost in the championship contest. A lot of people did not see that coming. So that's why we have to keep a pretty open mind about this contest right now. I know Seward's raced out to a 15-8 lead, but like you say, if Gretna, if they start rolling, hitting some threes, and then they're able to follow that up with some nice defensive stops, they could slay the Dragon too. No pun intended. I realized that.
I was waiting for that. I didn't know if you did that intentionally or not.
I'll go with it. Yeah, sure.
Dragons themselves not wanting to be slain here today. As you take a look at head coach Tom Tverdi of Seward, what a team he has put together. 15-8, final 30 seconds of the first period. There's a nice little give and go roll to the basket, and a score for Brooke Arp. After the nice recognition by Hillary Stover.
Gretna really cranking up that defensive pressure. Good job. Double team was there, and they're pursuing the ball at all times.
Katie, even after all of that pressure, Seward with the presence, with the patience, and the discipline to keep that ball moving. Final 2 seconds. I don't think they see the clock, and it's not going to count. No one was looking at the clock. And Gretna cost themselves maybe a shot at a 2 or a 3. Seward by 7. We've played 8 minutes in the Class B championship on 10-11 and NET.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the top classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
It'll be Gretna basketball to start the second period. They trail it by 7. Three on the way, yes.
That was a good shot by Gretna. Kathy Edmondson, but better off. She came right off a nice double screen. Sign of good coaching right there. When you can come out of a timeout or a quarter change and have something drawn up perfectly, and you execute it.
Camphouse, even though she missed the first, was right there to grab her own miss, and you don't want to give her more than one opportunity. It's not very often she'll miss 2 in a row. Camphouse early with 8 points and 4 rebounds. We're just barely a quarter into this game. 19-13, Seward, pull-up jumper. Camphouse was the last one to touch it, and so Gretna will retain possession.
Camphouse headed to Creighton to play collegiately in the Missouri Valley. We just saw Creighton recruit in the previous game, Mackenzie Fouillon of Bishop Neumann.
Was once upon a time. 3 on the way is short that time by Arp. And Boslavsky noticing down the floor that Mueller was by herself. Boy, talk about great court recognition by Beth Boslavsky.
Yeah, that was the quarterback throwing the Hail Mary pass way up the floor. And right after it, Mueller put that layup in. Big fist pump out of Boslavsky. She is fun to watch, isn't she, John?
Is. Yes, she is, because she's got a little bit of everything. She's everything you want in a guard.
Yeah, her basketball IQ is through the charts for a sophomore.
Jumper comes up long, and Camphouse with the rebound for the Blue Jays, who again looks down the floor. Mueller had already gone for the break, and even though she went into the double team, she draws the foul.
Mueller must win all the wind sprints at Seward practice, because these past few times they get the rebound, they just fire down the floor, and she beats everyone down.
And of course, you always run a risk of leaving yourself a defender short if you anticipate too much, but that's how Seward plays. They have enough confidence in the players they have on the floor that, and especially with the size that they have, the rebounding advantage that they generally enjoy in most of their games. If a team misses a shot, Mueller right down the floor, and teammates are taught to think about it and look for it.
Well, we've seen it all season long. They can go from one end of the floor to the next in a matter of 3 seconds with the rebound and outlet and go. And it doesn't always have to be a home run pass. Sometimes they'll get it to midcourt in the blink of an eye, and then they'll be scoring a layup about a second or 2 later.
Brooke Arp goes 1 shot and out as Gretna tries to score quickly in their own right. That was Hannah Taverdi with the basketball. Now to Laurel Wagner. Katie had it poked away, saves it, falling down.
Stover in there scrapping for Gretna, creating some havoc.
And they're going to say it's touched by Elisa Camphouse, who shakes her head in disgust. She thought she could have drawn a foul there, a reach in. But no such luck. 5 minutes, 51 seconds to go here in the first half. And I believe, yep, we're going to have a timeout. A little bit of confusion here between the scorers table and the officials. This is our media timeout. So we'll be back after this.
This NSAA championship is brought to you.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska high school athletes. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says, hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Quick look at our numbers here with 5:44 to go in the first half. Seward 9 of their first 16 from the field. Gretna just 5 of 18, but 3 of those 5 field goals have been 3-pointers. So we talked about how Gretna's going to have to hit some long-range jumpers, and they have. Unfortunately for Seward, they don't necessarily need that style, and they've got a couple of fast break buckets as well, and they're up by 8 here in this Class B championship game.
Again, Gretna was looking for another 3 there, coming off a double screen at the free throw line. It popped the player open free. That was Dennis, open free for just a few seconds, but Seward closed too quickly.
Dennis, is it going to be a turnover? Nope. Hillary Stover keeps the possession alive for the Lady Dragons, but again, very active for those Seward guards. Pull-up jumper, knocks it down. Kind of a flat shot by Megan Dennis, but it counts just the same. It's 21-15.
That was a tough shot, having a defender right on your hip, closing in from behind.
Birdie trying to get the ball away, and does, to Wagner. Wagner looks down low. Too easy.
I mean, with all the crazy stuff that's happening near midcourt, with Gretna trying to pressure and create some sort of turnover, a steal, what have you, with the basketball, it's leaving down low wide open, or I shouldn't say wide open, one-on-one, and clearly the size advantage goes to Seward and Camp House.
Well, let's face it, all you need is about a body length between her and her defender. You just throw in that high lob, as we've seen on a number of occasions here this morning. That's all you need. It's not like you need her that wide open. Nice drive to the basket, but no points for Wissing. And now the outlet down the floor. Reverse layup, though, is no good by Jordan Wollenberg. Still an 8-point game, and here comes Seward. They don't mind a chalk meet. Hannah Taverdi.
Yeah, Hannah Taverdi's a freshman, so she'll be playing alongside Boslowski a couple more years, and it's a glimpse into the future. That's the thing about Seward. They're a really, really deep team. And Taverdi comes off the bench, and she comes up with some big points here. Considered one of the best ball handlers on that team.
Fouls on Laurel Wagner. Seward with just 3 fouls here in the first half. First free throw is good. Let's head down courtside to Dan Hedman.
Guys, I'm sitting in front of the scorers table here where the Blue Jays are checking in. It's almost like hockey line changes. They're just in and out, in and out. They have so many players that score points. 10 players on this team average at least 3 points a game, and I think it's starting to wear on Gretna a little bit. 3 more Jays just checked in.
Second foul shot is good. It's ironic you mentioned hockey, because yesterday Nate Lanik, the head coach of Alliance, used a hockey analogy, said it was like playing Gretna was like watching Team Canada in the Olympics. All the line changes and the talent that they're able to bring onto the floor. Well, Seward can say the same thing. Very, very deep.
Crisp ball movement by Seward.
Look inside, there's Camp House.
You know, if you work it around the perimeter long enough, it's going to create that lane. And once it's inside the Camp House, then you have a pretty good chance of scoring.
Lead is 10. Camp House already with 12 of the 27 put up by the Blue Jays.
But keep in mind, that's what Jerome Skurdla said. If we're going to give them one thing, we're going to give them the inside.
3 is down by Nicole Andrews. It's the 4th three-pointer shot in by Gretna. It is their one saving grace here so far, but they still find themselves down by 7 points with 3 minutes left in the first half. Boslowski thought about a 3. Instead, she'll give it up to a teammate, Jordan Seaman. Sophomore giving up to the senior.
Yeah, I think that's Boslowski's 4th assist of the game already.
Short on that jumper. Ball saved in. Here comes Seward again. Boslowski through the defense.
Wow.
Look at that.
She didn't have numbers, John. That was a 2-on-3 and ended up being 1-on-none because she blew by them all. Confidence, that's something you cannot coach, really.
Here it is again. 1, 2, 3 defenders.
To do that as a sophomore is pretty special.
Timeout taken here with 2 minutes and 34 seconds left to play in the first half. And Seward has opened up a 12-point lead. Well, really at this point, Seward is doing everything that it wants to do. I mean, there's really not a facet of their game. You know, you can let the threes go from time to time, which Gretna has obviously done. They've hit 4 out of 10. You know, in some way you can forgive that with the way that Seward is playing this game. Every facet of basketball so far for the Blue Jays is going exactly as they want it.
They've hit some threes, they've worked inside, solid defense, they've run the floor. I really don't know how you stop that team, because we've seen multiple squads try a bunch of different things at them. Triangle and 2, zone, man, push the tempo on them. Well, they're fast. They have so few weaknesses. In fact, we really don't know what their weakness really is.
Timeout with 2:22 left to go in the first half. Seward leads at 32-20 in the Class B championship.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of the Nebraska School Activities Association, member FDIC. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services.
Daniel O'Donnell celebrates his 10th PBS special, showcasing 2 decades of career highlights.
Daniel O'Donnell shares the sounds and the beauty of his homeland.
Lovesick fool that's blind and just can't see.
Coming Sunday, March 14th, beginning at 3:30 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, find out how you can get tickets to his concert in Omaha.
We're at the Devaney Center for the 2010 Girls State Basketball Tournament. You take a look at Elisa Camphouse, and really when you talk about how to stop Seward, what you need, I think, is a neutralizer for her, someone who can account for her on the offensive and defensive ends of the floor. I think that's where it really starts. Then obviously you still have to account for Emily Cady, who's long and can play both inside and outside, and obviously guard play. Really what you need is you need a carbon copy of Seward to be able to compete with Seward.
And then have Seward have an off-night shooting.
That is true.
Because as you started talking about the neutralizer for Camphouse, I totally agree with that. But then the other side of the coin is going to say, you're going to need one of those nights where shots don't fall for Seward. And the way Seward's won some games, even when they've had off-night shooting, their defense is so good.
Jordan Wollenberg with the steal, and the basketball back the other way for the Lady Dragons, down by 12 here. A minute and a half left to play in the first half. Trying to put a little more pressure on the perimeter to avoid some of those three-point shots. There's a look inside, and this time you take the biggest player on the floor in Camphouse and the smallest player on the floor in Boslavsky. They were working the double team down low, and the foul is called
on Boslavsky.
Only the 4th team foul for Seward here in the first half. Gretna with only 6, Boslavsky with 2.
John, I don't know a time that we've had a stoppage of play where Seward did not substitute. Even in that stoppage, we had 2 more players come off the bench and come on in. And that certainly helps when you're a team that likes to run the floor.
Gretna fans groaning about the call. The officials say the ball was last touched by Gretna, so it belongs to Seward again. Up by 12. It's their biggest lead of the game. Coming up on a minute to play here in the first half. Wagner. Mueller. A look underneath. Camphouse. Great ball movement.
Well, Camphouse there, she shed one defender in Wallenberg. Had another defender from Gretna slide over, and at that point it was too late. She had already received the basketball and was in great position.
How many of those baskets have we seen from Camphouse where it's been her against one player?
Right. And a lot of that is, you know, she's really able to use her body well with seals and get good position, create nice passing lanes for her guards.
And the fact that Seward's able to spread the floor so you can't just put 2 people on her, because you're going to leave too many open holes elsewhere. Tough turnaround jumper using the glass. Jordan Wollenberg with 5 points here. 20 seconds left in the first half.
And that's a nice bucket. And I think that one thing we've seen out of Gretna here recently is they've been trying to attack the post and maybe get Camphouse in foul trouble again.
Wollenberg draws the foul. Camphouse was standing tall, hands up, but that'll be her first foul. As you take a look at it one more time, she was there.
Look at her, even after Wallenberg had fallen to the ground, Camphouse was still planted with arms up.
This will be an inbound situation. This is a big basket to get here to end the first half. Something to end the first half on a positive. Too high off the glass. Seward gets it back. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Into the front court comes Devaney. All the way in, lost it off her hip. Outside three, would count if it goes, but it does not. But a good first half for the defending state champions, as the Blue Jays lead it 34-22. Just way too much Camphouse here in that first half, as she has put up 14 points, but just an all-around tremendous effort from the Blue Jays, who are 16 minutes 16 minutes away from extending that win streak to 50 games, and their head coach Tom Devaney is with Dan Hedman.
All right, Coach, you average 70 a game, right on pace for that. What worked so well in the first half?
Well, definitely getting the ball inside, and Gretna puts great pressure on the edge, and so it's a challenge to get the ball inside like we need to. We've done a pretty good job with that and limited our turnovers for the most part. Just got to keep with that in the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck.
You bet, thank you.
1 half away from a second straight state title are the Seward Blue Jays. We'll be back with your first half highlights in a bit.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
You're on vacation in the mountains. You've got the kids, the dog, and your tent. Your son says, hiking is lame, so you try rock climbing. It ends up being harder than it looks. Now you're in the hospital wishing you'd stayed home. But you've got Blue Cross and Blue Shield, so you know you're covered, even though you're out of state. So you relax, which is why you went on vacation in the first place. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. One less thing to worry about.
Hey, college doesn't just happen. You have to push yourself as you go through high school. Don't be afraid to take classes like Algebra 2, Biology, or a foreign language. They can help raise your ACT score and prepare you for college. I wasn't the smartest kid in high school, but I took the tough classes and I passed. So what are you waiting for? Push yourself over to your counselor's office and sign up for them. They won't be easy, but you'll be glad you did.
Blazing fastballs, spectacular strikeouts, fan pandemonium, and an eye-catching name. Take an intimate glimpse at Nebraska native and now New York Yankees pitcher Jabba Chamberlain, the people, places, and events which have influenced his road to success in Yesterdays, the Jabba Chamberlain story, Tuesday night at 7 Central on NET1 and NET-HD. Plus, Jabba's father, Harlan, and Husker baseball coach Mike Anderson will be in the studio to let you know how you can get Husker baseball tickets and signed baseballs.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman. Do you realize that NET can be named as a beneficiary in your insurance policy or individual retirement accounts? And you may receive additional financial benefits as well. The next time you meet with your advisors to review your estate plans, please consider including NET Television. For more information on creating a legacy gift in your name, please call me directly or visit our website.
Seward leads Gretna 34-22 in the Class B championship game.
Yeah, at the halftime of each championship game, we reveal the all-state teams. Those were voted on by the coaches across the state in Class B, and this is what they've come up this year. Haley Mandelko of Lexington, Jordan Hooper of Alliance, Kate Edwards of Crete, Emily Cady of Seward, and Carly Grenfell of the York Dukes.
And you take a look, you think about Katie, and she averages only 8 points a game. You don't usually see a all-state performer with that low of a average point total, but it's that complete game that Emily Katie provides, offensively, defensively, assists, everything that she can do, which is why she's getting attention from Division I programs. But then you look at, Jordan Hooper. What more can be said about Jordan Hooper? I heard today that she put up 40 plus in the third place game today. Really a really special player, and someone that the folks here in Lincoln and all across Nebraska are going to love watching her play for Connie Yorty.
Yeah, we'll get to see her for the next 4 years, and she is something absolutely special. She can shoot from the perimeter, and she's a fantastic ball handler at her size. I think she's 6'2", but she measures that, and she can just run the floor, and I think there are good things in her future for sure.
And congratulations to Haley Mandelko, Kate Edwards of Crete, and as we mentioned earlier, Carly Grenfell of York also making the Class B Coaches All-State team. NSAA saluting the Believers and Achievers here at halftime. Seward, 12-point lead at the break.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
Hey, great party. Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well. This is well done. No. That's medium well. What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned. That's it. You're not gonna come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger. I don't grill it properly.
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, generating electricity with a balanced mix of energy resources, including wind. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, providing cable, internet, and digital phone service for your home or your business.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
Halftime in Class B, Seward leads Gretna 34-22. We'll look at the first half stats in just a moment. Right now, the NSAA with one of their fine scholarship programs, award programs for both out of the classroom and in the classroom success. U.S. Bank sponsoring the Believers and Achievers. So many good young students have been honored in this program, and they continue to be honored at halftime of a lot of the state championships, including football and now basketball as well. So congratulations to all of these young men and women from across the state. Let's take a look at the stats in the first half, and Seward definitely believing and achieving. Look at that disparity in field goal percentage, 63% to 31%. Then you look at the rebounds, 17-10, and you'd think Seward would be up even by more than just 12 points, but it's those three-point field goals that kind of help keep Gretna close. Turnovers pretty much down in this game so far, but a big stat that stands out to me on the sheet, 26-4 points in the paint. Seward with 26 of their 34 points in the paint. As you take a look at the early threes that kept Gretna going, one by Haley Samuelson and one by Jordan Wollenberg. But for Seward, this is your story here, Elisa Camphouse. She had, in the first half, 14 points, and getting feeds like that from Beth Boslavsky, who had 4 assists in the first half. But Seward can hit it from the outside as well, as we saw right there from Natasha Mueller. 34-22, Seward leads it at halftime in the Class B championship game. Back with more halftime activities after this on 10-11 and NET.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear and it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by U.S. Bank, committed to customer service through performance, products, and people. U.S. Bank, proud sponsor of the Nebraska School Activities Association, member FDIC. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, one less thing to worry about. Education Quest Foundation, improving access to college through scholarships, grants, and college planning services.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman. If you enjoy sports action on NET, and if you want to see this excitement continue for many generations, consider making a gift to the NET Endowment Fund. NET is Nebraska sports, and your gift makes that possible.
Seward leads Gretna 34-22 at halftime in Class B. Didn't get a chance to run down some of the other individual numbers, but Elisa Campos, as I mentioned, leading all scores with 14 points. Gretna led by Megan Dennis, who has 2 threes, or beg your pardon, has 6 points on 2 field goals and 2 free throws, scoring pretty much spread out for Gretna as they try to find some kind of an answer to Elisa Campos, who has been very tough to deal with in the first half. Dan Hedman is standing by with Jerome Skrdla. Let's see what he had to tell the Lady Dragons at halftime.
Thanks, John. Coach, obviously down at halftime, but still within shouting distance of a very good Seward team. What'd you tell the girls?
Oh, we talked about some things. We had goals of not giving up 3-point shots in the first half, and we can let them have 4 baskets off that, and that's the difference, 12 points in the game. We also talked about some fundamental things we needed to do better on offense, that we need to be more aggressive. They've limited us to 4 offensive rebounds. We are a better team than that. We want to attack the basket, get more rebounds, and just get more into our offense.
With so many weapons, how are you going to limit their scoring and make up this deficit?
We have to keep the pressure on them. We keep hoping if we can get some pressure, get a couple turnovers, things can turn pretty fast. And that's been our strength of the year, is trying to get those turnovers. So that's what I talk about, is trying to get more pressure on the ball. Camphouse is just so tough in there, but if you don't put pressure on the ball, they can find her too easy. So,
thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with your second half action. One more break.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
Log on now to Nebraska Stories Online, the place that gives you more insight about the people, the places, and the ideas of Nebraskans. Log on to netnebraska.org/Nebraska Stories for extended video clips, articles, and information. Nebraska Stories and more now on the web.
He's sold more than 50 million records and sung and composed with everyone from Luciano Pavarotti and B.B. King to Lady Gaga and Kanye West. Now, Michael Bolton takes us on a spectacular grand tour of the music he loves on stage at London's Royal Albert Hall. The voice is unmistakable, the passion undeniable, and the evening unforgettable.
Sunday night at 9:30 Central on NET1 and NET HD.
Seward band blowing a happy tune right now with their team up 12 as we get ready for the start of the second half. Will there be an answer for the Lady Dragons for what Seward has been able to do so far, especially with Elisa Camphouse, 14 points, 6 rebounds in the first half, and those points in the paint just stand out like a sore thumb. 26-4 in favor of Seward.
And when you look at Gretna on their side, of their 26 field goal attempts, 11 have come from beyond the arc. They're not shooting terrible from downtown. They're at 36%. So they've gotten some shots to fall. I think that's the one way you're looking at chipping into this deficit. Hopefully your shots fall a little bit better in the second half. Maybe just slowly creep back into this thing.
I've always felt if you're going to pull an upset, and there's Camp House, wow, take up from where she left off. If you're going to pull an upset, the third quarter is the pivotal quarter, because you need to establish yourself in that period. You have to get off to a good start. And unfortunately, Gretna off to a slow start in terms of staying close, and a turnover as Seward just standing firm in the paint. So these first couple minutes really going to tell the tale.
And
for the
in
rest
this
of the
situation, I think what a lot of teams maybe do wrong is, if you're down by double digits, don't keep looking at the scoreboard in the third quarter. The fourth quarter is where you really got to play the numbers game and figure out where you stand. You maybe just need to set a smaller goals. Don't try to make the entire thing up. Slowly but surely say, let's get this thing down to 8. Let's get this thing down to 5. But you just got to chip away at it. I think a lot of times players get caught up looking at that scoreboard and they try to do too much in the third quarter, and that's where it can really go south. And I think that's why it is one of the most pivotal quarters.
Yeah, block out, great block out by Natasha Mueller after the missed 3. Saw Katie make a field goal just a moment ago. She's got 6 points. And you know, that's the problem. If you concentrate your efforts on Elisa Camphouse and you forget about number 30, and she can hit that jump shot wide open as she was a couple of moments ago. Runner in the lane, no, and a rebound pulled out of there by Brooke Art. 38-22, biggest lead of the game for Seward, 16 points. Look for that entry pass, but Arp denied. Boy, that is tough. I mean, Arp already has some good size. She's a 6-footer, but you had both Katie and Camphouse down there, and once again, defense peels off of Camphouse, and she's wide open.
I mean, this is kind of textbook post play that we're learning about.
Gretna has 22, and Camphouse has almost as many.
I mean, she's putting on a clinic right now on how to seal the post, how to use your body, work the angles, and just go up strong. She's a physical player, and she's converting. She's shooting at an extremely high level. I believe right now she is 9 of 11 from the floor.
That's right. At the free throw line, it's Haley Samuelson. Gets the second. And Seward is on the board here in the second half, but it's 40-23.
Elisa Camphouse did not want to dribble that basketball. She even shook her head no, but whatever works, right?
She brought it in herself and gets a round of applause by the Seward fans sitting behind us. Yeah, that's not what is expected of her. 3 on the way. Camphouse again. Rebound, put back. Tally another rebound, 2 more points. 20-7 now. Camphouse's line. If you're going to go out in style, and as a senior, she's doing just that.
And that's frustrating for Kelsey O'Neill of Gretna. She's 6'1", a pretty tall player, but in that position, she's undersized because Camphouse is 6'4". And that was a matter of just positioning and height.
Long 2. Yes! Kelsey O'Neill. She had only scored 9 points all season coming in to this state tournament. She's got 2 here.
And here Gretna goes. Nice basket last time down. Let's see if they can get some more points.
Good look, wide open look, but it rolls off the rim. No good by O'Neill. Coulda, woulda, shoulda been a turnover. Wow, talk about leaning in. Holy cow, Haley Samuelson was practically right in the face of Camphouse. No foul call, ball poked away.
Good effort though by Gretna. Samuelson's really trying to make something happen.
Oh, absolutely she is. Man, she is running all over this floor. She's going to be winded on this series alone, and close to an over and back. Tracked down by Miller, Natasha Miller. Runner rolls off, no. And I think they're going to get Camphouse over the back. Yep, that'll be your second team foul against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and there's Samuelson just tugged on the jersey. She needs a quick breather. Put a lot of energy into that series, but that was a good defensive stand for Gretna. They put a lot of work into just making sure Seward did not put any more points on the board there. So it's little victories like that, possession by possession, that can help clear your mind a little bit and help you get into this deficit. 17-point game, maybe make a nice little run, try to get it down to single digits by the turn of the quarter.
Here come the Lady Dragons. Catherine Edmondson brings it into the front court. Fleming will look down low. Turn, nice move, but it rolls off the iron. Boy, Wallenberg did everything right there. The ball just didn't cooperate. Traveling, no basket. And Emily Cady thought she had a three-point play there. And Tom Taverdi said, I think that should have been a three-point play opportunity. No such luck.
Yeah, Tom wasn't too pleased with that call at all.
Entry down low, Arp. And we will have a foul on Seward. Oh, I'm sorry, on Gretna. Kathy Edmondson with the foul. That's the first team foul against Gretna here in the second half. 3 minutes, 50 seconds to go. Seward, 42-25.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by the Dr. Tom and Dorothy Hallstrom Inspire Nebraska Athletics Endowment.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
Nebraska, we asked and you delivered. You gave us good cooks, treasured recipes, and celebrated family stories. I'm Chef Brian O'Malley, your host of NET's program, The Recipe Box. Join us as we celebrate the culinary heritage of Nebraska through its food and its cherished stories that make us savor the taste of home.
Coming March 20th at 2 Central on NET1 and NET HD. Plus, find out how you can meet the cooks and sample the recipes from the program at the new Institute for the Culinary Arts in Omaha.
Dragon cheerleaders keeping up the spirit, though their team is down by 17. Emily Cady to Boslavsky. Cady looks underneath. Look at that ball movement. Can't beat that. I mean, that is tough to beat.
Seward is so composed. I mean, Gretna was furious there, trying to create trap after trap, flying at him in the corners, flying him at him at the high post. Seward just remained really calm, worked the ball around. They knew something would open up, and they found it and scored.
19-point lead is the biggest of the game.
Camphouse now with 22 points, 7 rebounds.
Sailed that one over the rim. But another try, and Brooke Arp knocks it down. That's only the 4th point for Arp, and Arp the leading scorer on this Gretna team with a 14-point average per game. And Gretna's going to get it right back. As you take a look at Beth Boslavsky, look at that line. 4 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists for the Blue Jays.
Remember that one of the buckets that Boslavsky had, she took on 3 defenders in transition.
Kathy Edmondson ahead to Hillary Stover. For that open look, there it is. Ball tipped around and to Stover. She'll get another try. Instead, the kick out and the 3. Well, the opportunity's there. The shot's not falling for Gretna and a foul. Megan Dennis, that'll be her first. And the second team foul in the second half against Gretna.
Looking at this Gretna team, a lot of upperclassmen. They have quite a few seniors and especially juniors. That's a pretty thick junior class. That includes Brooke Arp, their leading scorer at 14 a game.
Well, Edmondson is a senior. She averages 10 points. Emily Fleming is a reserve player, averages 2, and Hillary Stover averaging 6 points as a senior. That's all you lose off of this Lady Dragons team. And I know you don't want to look to next year when you're still playing a state championship game, but this one might be one of those file it away moments, because with Seward coming back with a lot of good players and will be undoubtedly one of the favorites to repeat again, provided they win here today. Again, even though you don't give up hope on this game with 10 minutes left to play, still you want to learn as much as you possibly can from this game, because you never know what next year might bring.
That's the truth. And I don't know what's going to happen with Seward next year. And I've had a hard time getting a grasp on that. I'd like to think that they're going to be, like you said, the team to beat. Granted, you lose Camp House and a few other really key seniors, but there is so much talented youth that we see today. And you got to imagine what's not even on the court today, because it's like a factory right about now what Seward has. But like now, right, Taverdi has the basketball. She's a freshman.
Look down low for Camp House. Muscles her way up and in. She does not miss. 12 of 14 from the field. 24 points, 8 rebounds for Elisa Camphouse, who, by the way, did not make our All-State team, but she'll be considered by many an All-Stater, and why not? Putting on a show here today.
Well, she was last year,
yes,
and there is no doubt she's one of the top players in the state.
Try to shoot it over Camphouse. Instead, the assist, or the attempt at an assist, is Wallenberg found a teammate cutting in behind, and that will draw the foul. That's the third foul on Emily Cady, and she will come out. You know, that'll be the key. With Camphouse gone next year, it'll be Cady who will take on a little bit more of that slack underneath, even though she has the great inside-outside game.
And the other seniors are Mueller, Seaman, and Wagner. So you lose some of your strong three-point shooting out of that group as well.
High lob, a little bit too high and too long. And now here comes Seward. 2-on-2. And that will go off of a Lady Dragon. Seward will retain possession with 51 seconds left to play here in the third quarter. Seward took command late in the first quarter, and they have not let up. The lead has slowly but surely grown, which is kind of what we expected. If Seward was going to win, that would probably be the formula. They don't necessarily start very fast. They like to assert their defense first. They did, and then the offense followed, and in typical Seward fashion, they start to distance themselves from the pack in the third and fourth quarters.
It's all about settling in for Seward, and once they get there, they're a really, really dangerous team.
First free throw is good by Taylor Wissing, another one of the younger players, a sophomore, her first point of the afternoon.
Yeah, John, you look at the scoreboard, Seward's now up by 20, but this game really hasn't seemed in doubt very much. You know, when Seward took control, took the lead, built a 7-point lead in the first quarter, you know, it just seemed like it was theirs. They had all the momentum. They were controlling the style of play that was on the floor, controlling the tempo. And that's what they've done all year, even the past couple of games. And I even talked to the team after their quarterfinal and semifinal win and even asked them, how'd you almost make this look easy? This is state. This is the top teams in the entire state, yet you're winning by 20-plus points. It's just for them all about balance and defense. They have both.
Will Seward play for the last shot? Oh, heck no. Not when Hannah Taverdi, the freshman, has a look like that. And it's 51-27, final seconds of the period. And Kathy Edmondson will go to the line to shoot free throws, as the foul is committed by Natasha Mueller, her first.
John, you've seen a lot of Class B basketball. How does the Seward team stack up to some of those South Sioux teams?
Well, as we talked
From
about
over a decade ago.
Earlier, the difference in styles. South Sioux was such an aggressive team, both offensively and defensively. They scored off of their defense in terms of the pressure that they would put on, the great inside presence they used to have with players like Charlie Rogers and the Robinette sisters. You know, they just had the complete game, but they played in such an aggressive style. Seward is, they can be aggressive. I guess in some ways they're a little more passive aggressive at times, if you can describe it as such. It would be a very intriguing matchup, but it would really depend on which iteration of the South Sioux City team we're talking about. Are we talking about the earlier teams that featured Charlie Rogers, or are we talking about the later versions that featured the Robinettes? Either way, it would be a heck of a matchup. I wish we could see it, but we'll just have to imagine what it would be. Seward 51, Gretna 28 as we head to the fourth quarter.
Programming made possible by Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
You're watching NET1 and NET HD.
Hi, I'm Bridget Robbins. Did you know that you can make a charitable gift to NET through securities like stocks, bonds, and mutual funds? Such gifts can be structured to result in significant tax savings for you. Ask your trusted advisors about the advantages of giving securities to the NET endowment. Call me or visit our website for more information.
Welcome back to the Devaney Center, where Seward holds a commanding 51-28 lead on Gretna, joined now by Governor Dave Heineman, and obviously a great turnout, great event for Lincoln today.
You know, it is. The girls' state basketball tournament's a terrific event. Every year the girls are playing better and better. I'm excited for the teams, and you see Seward, Wahoo, Gretna, they all show up in good fashion.
Now we're sitting in the Bob Devaney Sports Center, obviously. I got to ask you about the new arena project, and what's your take on that, especially for events like this?
Well, I think it's an exciting opportunity for Lincoln. It's good for the university here, and hopefully they can upgrade the facilities. The voters are just going to have to decide, or they're willing to pay for it, but it's a great opportunity for the city and the university.
Obviously, there's been some talk about maybe losing the state finals if the arena is not built. You know, what's your take on that?
Well, that'd be a tough decision for the NSAA. I certainly think in terms of basketball and football, they're likely to remain in Lincoln, but it's a competitive situation out there between a number of communities now, and Lincoln. We'll see what happens.
I see you're wearing your Nebraska red, obviously the women winning today and making some history this year in this building.
I'll tell you what, I've been to about 6 or 7 of the girls' games. They're awesome. They're incredible. I would love to see them play UConn, but you got to take them one at a time, and let's see what happens.
All right, thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Governor Dave Heineman, folks, it's 54-28, Seward in the lead.
After the three by Natasha Mueller. Thanks a lot, Dan. Governor, you know, usually a sitting governor will get a chance to maybe see a bowl game, you know, a big game for the football team. But how about a trip to San Antonio, Texas in about a month?
That'd be okay. Governor Heineman also showing his basketball IQ there, following these Lady Huskers quite thoroughly. We've seen him at quite a few games. Like you said, he's been to 6 or 7 of them. And how can you not? I mean, they're such a fun team to watch.
And to his credit, I mean, this isn't the first time he's been to state tournaments. We'll see him next week. We've seen him last year as well. So he loves to watch his sports, and he's enjoying what he has seen here today, as he is about to see the crowning of another mini dynasty. And we've talked a lot about Seward and, you know, the last 2 years of success. But let's put this into a little bit of perspective before we claim that Seward's the greatest of them all, because obviously there's a lot of teams. We've had runs of state championships by Sandy Creek and Columbus Scotus. We've already mentioned South Sioux City. But with this win today, presuming that this 24-point lead holds, with this win today, the 50-game winning streak would not even make the top 10 all time in Nebraska State girls history.
I think of West Point Central Catholic, right? What did that reach? This is probably about 5 years ago.
111.
Yeah, I knew it was over triple digits for sure.
Three-pointer by Jordan Wallenberg. She's got 8, and the deficit's down to 21. 111 in a row by West Point Central Catholic. As Seward's going to take a timeout here that lasted from 2001 to 2006.
2006.
6:19 to go. Seward leads at 54-30. It's only a 30-second timeout, but to continue the consecutive wins, you know, Sandy Creek, 95 wins in a row. Chambers had 87. But in order for Seward to crack the top 10, they need to get 2 more wins. South Sioux City had 51 in a row, and so too did Humphrey St. Francis. So, as good as this has been for Seward, they're not even halfway to the state record. It would take another 2 years of Beth Boslowski and then someone beyond her in order to beat that string by West Point Central Catholic. That's how.
Putting that in perspective.
That's tough. That is tough.
I mean, it's difficult for one senior class to go undefeated. So basically 111 would be how many seasons?
Well, it took 5+ for
5.
West Point Central Catholic. There's the basket and the foul. And Grace Smetter, a junior, will head to the line. That's her first 2 points. So take a look at what she was able to do.
Nice strong take.
Now she has to tie her shoes first before the free throws happen. 56-33, 6:07 left to play.
Even on that play, we're still seeing a lot of fight out of Jordan Wallenberg and especially Ellie Samuelson.
6:07 left to play. Seward leads it 56-34. We'll be back.
You can see it on the horizon. Nebraska's landscape is changing. Wind has been a part of Nebraska Public Power District's generation mix since 1998. NPPD supports the development of wind power generation in the state. But wind is variable and does not produce electricity 24/7. Other generation resources like coal and nuclear will remain necessary. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us, together with your local public power utility.
Soy biodiesel from Nebraska soybeans lowers our dependence on foreign oil. It has properties that reduce engine wear. And it burns without harmfully polluting the atmosphere. The Nebraska Soybean Board encourages the use of soy biodiesel.
The Seward Bluejays roughly 6 minutes and change away from capturing another Class B state championship title, joined now by the wife of head coach Tom Taverdi, the mother of freshman Hannah Taverdi. It's Shelly Taverdi, possibly the MVP of this team.
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
The MVP of this team, are you taking credit for that?
Oh, no, definitely not. The only thing I really do is I make sure there's food after the game. That's about it. When they get home, that they get fed.
Obviously, last year's title was important to your family, but if they do hang on to this win, with Hannah being involved now, how much more special would it be?
This is great. You know, this is something that I know as a young, when she was little, she's always wanted to play ball, and she just has a dream to continue her ball playing, but she's just loving this. Told her last night, I said, just enjoy this, because you never know if you're going to be back here again, and just make every moment count.
Now, you played in this building for the Cornhuskers in the mid-'80s. Obviously, Nebraska completing a perfect regular season today. Just your thoughts on that as a former Nebraska basketball player.
You know, the Huskers are just doing great, and I'm friends with Connie, and I just wish her and her team the best. And it's just an awesome thing to see what they're doing, and for women's basketball in the state of Nebraska, it's just excellent. I mean, just to see the fans that come out and watch them play, and it's just been a great experience for the girls that are actually playing right now, because they'll always remember that. That's the biggest thing. It's just all these things that are happening for Nebraska and the memories that they're forming.
All right, thanks very much. Shelly Taverdi, mom, wife, former Husker. She does it all. Guys?
How about caterer? What do you feed a state championship team? I mean, there's got to be something special on the menu after today, doesn't there?
Pretty much, yeah. It can't be your typical orange slices and Kool-Aid.
For a post-game meal, that would be about the worst post-game meal I can think of. I can understand halftime.
Hey, that's what they say in soccer sometimes. Get out the oranges.
And that's my problem with soccer. No, I'm not going to. No, I do not have a problem with soccer. Though I always wondered why we always got orange slices. It's just something about oranges, I guess. Brookhart makes the free throws, 59-36. Gretna down by 23 here. Seward, though, not letting up off the gas pedal whatsoever. Good outlet down the floor. Nice patience. And Kathy Edmondson off the feed from Jordan Wollenberg.
You know, John, we didn't see much of that out of Gretna throughout this contest till now, pushing the floor. That's something that the Dragons, you know, they really didn't try to throw any long passes and try to push the issue, but they're doing it now, and they're doing it with success.
Camp House over pursuing there. Kind of hard to put the brakes on, a 6'4" frame. Oh, nice kick out. Wide open three. And an offensive board. Good hustle by Hillary Stover. Camp House with a huge rejection. She's already got a double-double of 24 and 10. Well, we don't have a look at blocks. She hasn't had that many blocks, but here's a big one. Oh, back to live action. Up on 4 minutes to play in the basketball game. Edmondson, pull-up jumper. Nope. Another rebound for Camp House. Now you wonder how much longer she'll be in the game. This, of course, being her last game. Also for Natasha Mueller and Jordan Seaman, Laurel Wagner. So they may get a chance to play as long as they want. There's Camp House again. Even if she misses the first, if she gets a chance at a second, she's probably not going to miss. 26 points, 11 rebounds.
She's been really efficient from the field as well. She's now at 10 of 13 from the floor.
13 of 16, wow, from the floor.
Couldn't keep up with all the tallies.
Nice hustle play by Kathy Edmondson to keep this possession alive for the Lady Dragons, and now she'll try for a three. Yes!
That was a good shot.
9 points for Edmondson, and the lead is 20 for Seward.
Edmondson has shown a lot of fight here in this fourth quarter. She was the one that scored on the fast break a few moments ago, and now with the three going down.
Through the lane, she'll get two. Laurel Wagner averages 5 points a game. Has been held scoreless so far in her final game as a Blue Jay. She'll go to the free throw line. Wagner's going to play volleyball next year for the Prairie Wolves.
Yeah, a lot of these players for Seward are natural athletes that play volleyball, a lot of track athletes. Seward's softball team also very good.
Now she's on the scoreboard. 62-41, Seward with 3:18 to go to 50 in a row.
Programming on NET television is made possible in part by U.S. Bank. Across Nebraska, the nation, and everywhere in between, U.S. Bank provides financial, trust, and investment services to individuals, large corporations, and small businesses. Wherever you go, whether it's in person, on the phone, or on the World Wide Web, you'll find U.S. Bank. You'll find more than 50,000 U.S. bankers, home of the 5-star service guarantee.
Nebraska Stories Online lets you find out more. Log on to netnebraska.org/Nebraska Stories.
A little drama to play out here in a 21-point game in the final 3:18. Elisa Camphouse, we've talked about her day. She is 13 of 16 from the floor, 26 points. Those 13 field goals are just too shy of the Class B single game state tournament record. Guess who holds that record?
We just got the note slipped to us.
That's right. The woman we just talked to, the former Shelley Block, now Shelley Taverty.
Tom Taverty's wife.
Exactly. So is there pressure on the husband to preserve the wife's record? Camphouse still in the game in the final 2:40. Foul off the missed shot.
It's all going to be when that curtain call comes.
That's true. Something tells me Coach Taverty's probably not aware at this point. I mean, he can see the points. I don't know if he's aware of the field goals, and I don't know how much the record has been talked about in the Taverty house.
I was just going to say, I wonder if he even knows that his wife currently holds that record.
Well, we'll watch. We'll see. Here's Emily Cady. She's got 8 points. Oh, Camphouse with the rebound, but denied an opportunity at that 14th field goal. And the Seward fans boo. 2.5 to go. Lady Dragons bringing in some of their reserves as well. Monica Crockett in the game. There's a 3, and finally a friendly bounce. Megan Dennis. She's got 9, 64 to 44. Katie all the way in. Look underneath, takes it in strong and scores.
Katie now in double figures, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists. She's done a little bit of everything.
Which is exactly what she does. Foul is called. With 1:56 to go. Medal presentations to come. And we'll take a little bit of a break. And we will be back with Class D2 at 5 o'clock. Then Class A at 7, Class C2. We want to talk about someone who might be suffering from time warp. Russ Ninemeyer, the longtime veteran head coach of Sandy Creek. How many years did we open up Championship Saturday with his team playing the early game? Now he gets to play. He's back in the state finals for the first time in a few years, and he gets to play the nightcap.
He's going to be up late. Those games, you know, they're scheduled to start at 9. A lot of times they don't. They get bumped because the other games run a little bit longer.
Oh, I think they're aware that Camphouse is close to the record, so she tries it with a 3 and comes up short. That's going to kill the field goal percentage.
They wanted her to take it.
No, and here comes the subs. And it's a full substitution, and here we go. The seniors coming off the floor, Natasha Mueller among them, along with Laurel Wagner, and of course, Elisa Camphouse and Jordan Seaman. The record is safe. And peace will remain in the Taverty household.
I want to know if that was Camphouse's first career three-point attempt.
I don't know.
There could have been an instance where she had to throw the ball down the floor at the end of a buzzer.
Maybe.
And that would count as an attempt.
Driving layup, no. Rebound, no. And the Lady Dragons come down with it. Jordan Meadows out there for Gretna. Some of the younger players, Kelsey O'Neill, Dennis for 3, but the timeout taken before the shot. And this is a timeout by Gretna with 1:01 to go. Not so much a strategy timeout here, is it much? Not really sure why this timeout was called. No subs are coming in.
Well, John, like you said earlier, this might be a file it away game for Gretna. That might be what Coach Skrdla is saying in the huddle right now. You know what? We fought hard. Look at the fourth quarter. They've played Seward even in the fourth quarter, basically.
Yes, they have.
So he might be trying to paint the positive picture here. You know, you came in, you competed. You know, I don't second guess any of your efforts. Maybe that's what he's conveying to them, just commending them on a good season. Or perhaps saying, like you mentioned, John, let's use this as motivation for next year. They're at where we want to be. we're gonna have to do whatever it takes to get there. And don't let this affect you in the offseason. Don't let this thing affect you when next year starts.
Listen, this is not going to be the result you want on the scoreboard, but we've talked about how Gretna, they don't graduate that many players. Hillary Stover, Emily Fleming, Kathy Edmondson, only 3 seniors. And a bulk of the points are back next year for Gretna. Another thing to keep in mind, Gretna is one of the fastest growing towns in all of Nebraska. That town has exploded just west of Omaha. Hasn't been swallowed up yet as part of annexation. I'm sure that'll be coming soon, but either way, that town is not doing nothing but growing. And of course, with growth comes the ability for more players to be fed into your system. Gretna's not going anywhere anytime soon, I don't believe.
Especially now with the junior class. I expect them to be back at state next year with all the juniors they have returning. And like you said, John, the enrollment's only going to grow. And as the enrollment grows, you would assume that there would be some very talented athletes that are going to come to that school as well.
Free throws are good for Katie Hughes. 68-45, final 44 seconds here of the Class B championship game.
Plus, Gretna's in really good hands with Jerome Skurdla, a coach that's been to the state championship multiple times, won it in '06. So, like you said, there is no reason to believe anything otherwise than Gretna will be back at state and maybe making a run again at another championship.
The Seward student section counting down from the 30s. Well, they got 23 more seconds to tick away. 50 consecutive wins. 2 consecutive state championships. And though a few good players are lost, Seward will be positioned to add to that streak next year and be back here in this game. The final 5 seconds, Megan Cruz takes it down. A little too strong. Ball tipped in the air, and that'll do it. The Seward Bluejays are state champions once more. 50-0.
It's one of the most impressive Class B runs this state has ever seen. And it ends with another title for the Seward Lady Jays.
Back after this.
Programming on NET Television is provided in part by NPPD, Nebraska Public Power District, applauding the dedication, teamwork, and sportsmanship of Nebraska high school athletes. Nebraska Soybean Board, encouraging the use of renewable biodiesel fuels for a healthier environment. For information, nebraskasoybeans.org. Time Warner Cable, inspiring young people to build the skills they need in science, technology, engineering, and math to become the problem solvers of tomorrow.
Seward 68, Gretna 45, back-to-back state championships for the Blue Jays. We'll get the medal presentations in a moment, but first let's head back across the way to Doc Weiniger with the presentation of our Sportsmanship Award.
The Nebraska Coaches Association and the Nebraska Athletic Administrators Association are proud to support the positive aspects of high school athletics. Good sportsmanship is a key factor in our philosophy, and at this time we are pleased to present the Class B Sportsmanship Award. The trophies are graciously donated by Awards Unlimited. Making the presentations are Steve Borer of Seward High School and Governor Dave Heineman of the great state of Nebraska. Presenting the trophy and representing the Nebraska Independent College Foundation is Jonathan Brand, president of Doane College. The Class B Sportsmanship Award winner is Seward High School. Receiving the award are administrators Jason Schaefer and Chad Dinker and Seward students. Congratulations, Seward High School. And now, the Nebraska School Activities Association is pleased to present medals and trophies to both of these outstanding teams. The awards will be presented by NSAA Board of Control members Mark Norvell, representing District number 55, Elisa Camphouse. And now, all of you are welcome to receive the state championship trophy. Congratulations to the Blue Jays of Seward High School, the 2010 Class B state basketball champions.
Another trophy for Seward High School, back-to-back state champions, and now a 50-game winning streak heading into the 2010-2011 season. Well, as we mentioned, Jerome Skrdla, he's been here before. He won a state championship in 2006, but came away short here today. Let's get his thoughts now as we join Dan Hedman once more.
Coach, obviously a great season, but cut short. You ran into a buzzsaw in Seward.
Well, they're a very good team, and we had hoped our pressure defense would bother them more, but they handled that well, their guards. And then defensively, they took us out of things we wanted to do. We wanted to get more threes. They took away a lot of that, and then, you know, Camphouse inside, you know, we knew we either had to limit their threes or limit her, and we chose the threes, and unfortunately, she was too dominating for us. And great credit to their team. They're outstanding, but really proud of our group. They fought all the way through.
Now, there were some tears, but a lot of smiles as well. The girls have to feel good about the effort.
They did. You're looking at a team that wasn't even the ratings at the start of the year, and came back a lot of young players, and they came together. Chemistry was so strong, leadership outstanding. And so to get here, I talked to a senior there when we're getting in line, and she says second place isn't bad. And I said, you know, that's exactly the case. They had a great year. I mean, it's as enjoyable as it could get, even though you'd like to have gotten one more. I'm really proud of them.
It's a good attitude to have, and you could be back next year, lose just 3 seniors.
We sure hope so. We've got a great young group. We've got a lot of players, love for basketball in the Gretna community, and so it's really been fun working with these girls, and I think we've got a bright future ahead of us, too.
Thanks, Coach. Great season.
Thank you.
We'll meet your Class B champions from Seward for the 2nd straight year when we come back.
Live coverage of the 2010 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships is brought to you in part by Southeast Community College. Offers more than 50 technical and academic transfer programs. Train for a new skill or retrain for an existing one. SCC provides hands-on learning. One Oak Energy Marketing. Natural gas from One Oak. The one in energy. Concordia University, Nebraska is a Christ-centered community ready to prepare students for a life of leadership and service. Where futures begin, community colleges, Central, Metro, Mid-Plains, Northeast, Southeast, or Western Nebraska community colleges.
Hello, I'm Jeff Beckman. What if I told you that you could ensure the future of NET television and enjoy a lifetime of steady income at the same time? Well, through an NET charitable gift annuity, your legacy will support NET programs into the future. Call or email me to learn more about NET charitable gift annuities.
Celtic Thunder, it's entertainment. And he's a bad, bad Leroy Brown. And I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500. Celtic Thunder, in an unforgettable concert performance. Serving USA. Celtic Thunder, it's entertainment.
Sunday night at 8 Central Time on NET1.
(68-45), Seward, the champions of Class B. Let's take a look at the final totals in this one. And really the big difference is in field goal shooting, 57% for Seward to just 25 for Gretna. Points in the paint, 44 of the 68 were scored by Seward inside the paint. Elisa Camphouse, 28 points, 12 rebounds to lead the way for the state champions. Also 10 points for Emily Cady and Natasha Mueller. For the runners-up, Gretna was led by Megan Dennis with 10. And just a bit of advice for those people in Seward. Seward scored 17 points in the first quarter. 17 points in the second quarter, 17 points in the third quarter, and 17 points in the fourth. If anyone in Seward is playing the numbers tonight, play 17 and then send a share of your winnings to me. With that said, let's head back into the backstage area where we're going to meet the champions. Here's my partner, Kevin Suits.
Thank you, John. We're joined by Tom Taverdi. Tom, a champion again. You guys go back-to-back.
It's just really exciting. It's hard to put into words the excitement of this, and I just feel really blessed to have the talent and the kids and the unselfish attitudes and the team first. Just feel like I've been extremely blessed, and it's a great, great feeling.
50 in a row dating back to last season. You follow up a championship with another one. How do you put that into perspective, especially considering the dominance you guys showed throughout the entire year?
You know, it's a credit to the kids. All year we've talked about focus. Every step of the way, focus in practice, focus in games, and they've been remarkably focused. And then even probably kicked it up another notch here at the state tournament. And it's been their trademark, the focus. And you see that played out in the consistency and how we played down here. So it's a credit to our senior leaders that the focus has been there every day.
Was the strategy today to jump on Gretna early and try to bury them in the first half?
Well, we knew that they were going to really pressure on the edge really hard. That was their best shot. And we knew if our guards could get the ball up the court, we'd have one-on-one inside, which we hadn't seen with Camp Hillsall tournament. We knew we'd get that. And we did, and we felt like if we could get it to that point, it was going to be hopefully some easy baskets, and that's exactly what happened.
Were you aware that Elisa was one field goal away from your wife's record?
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize.
She finished with 14 field goals. Your wife is the current Class B record holder with 15, so there was no discussion of that.
I had no idea. You know what? I had no idea. That's shocking. I had no idea.
So you didn't pull her to preserve your wife's record?
Well, we gave her that 3 at the end. She would have taken it. So I had no idea on that at all.
Yeah, talk about her performance today. She was, something special down low.
Well, to Elisa's credit, she's been double and triple teamed so much, and I think 2 of our last 3 games she's only had 2 points. And has not complained at all about that, knowing that opens things for others. So again, a credit to her to be unselfish, that she was willing to wait for her time when it was right within the team concept, and tonight it was right.
Tom, congratulations. Thank you very much. Enjoy this win. Seward certainly deserves it. We're now going to bring in the players, starting with sophomore Beth Boslowski, 4 points, 8 assists. Just talk about winning another championship.
It feels great. I mean, a lot of teams don't get to do this, and we're one of them, so it's really good.
How do you describe this entire season, the fact that you went undefeated yet again?
It just feels great. I mean, it just feels great.
You have never lost in your high school career. You're aware of that, right?
Yeah.
You're not planning on having a loss in there anytime, are you?
I hope not. It would be great to go undefeated all 4 years.
Now, Beth, how did you guys win, particularly today against Gretna?
We just, defense was mainly it, because he said, we have to play good defense to win, and that's how we did it. I mean, going 3 days full court pressure had been hard work, but we still got the job done playing half court.
And in the end, it's worth it.
Yep, that's right.
Beth, thank you. Congratulations. Jordan Seaman, one of the outgoing seniors for Seward, there's 4 of them, gets to go out with the championship. That's a pretty nice way to end your high school career, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot of fun, and I'm just glad I got to share it with everybody. And makes me a little emotional, but, you just have to, I just thank everybody for making it so much fun these past couple years.
You guys have really been able to enjoy this throughout the season, even though Coach talks about your focus and how big that's been for you guys. But in the locker room, in the classroom, spending time with your teammates, you guys have really enjoyed this, haven't you?
Yes, we have. We have little dance parties and everything. It's a lot of fun to be with everybody. So.
Jordan, thank you. Congratulations. Emily Katie will come in next. Katie finished with 10 points, a double-figure performance for Seward as she gets the trophy handed off from Jordan. Emily, congratulations. Good to go out with another championship.
Yeah, it feels great to win another championship.
Now, you get to come back next year as a junior, so, where's the bar set for next year? Can you even think about that at this point?
No, I don't. We might not even make it to state next year. We just got to keep working. Don't look too far ahead.
How enjoyable has this been? Not this year, but also last year in the 50 consecutive wins.
Feels really great to have 50 consecutive wins.
All right, Emily, thank you. Congratulations. Natasha Mueller will come in next. Mueller with 10 points, a lot in transition. I have to ask you about that. In the first quarter, you guys were just running the floor up and down.
Yeah.
Was that part of the game plan?
Well, yeah, we always have the 2
which is me, always flies, and then Elisa for those long passes we always look for. So they were just open tonight.
Yeah, since you're the one always flying, I'm guessing you're the one that gets all the extra wind sprints at practice, right?
Yeah, yep, always running.
Yeah, you're okay with that role just as long as the points help you win, correct?
Yep.
And then the final, you guys had quite the celebration there at the end of the contest when the clock hit 0. What was that moment like for you?
It's just unreal. It's just a great way to go out my senior year, and I just love our team, and it was just so much fun.
Tasha, thank you. Congratulations. And last but not least, we'll bring in Elisa Camphouse. Camphouse finished with 28 points. That's one of the top performances throughout this entire state tournament, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, just talk about your performance today and how everything unfolded for you to have so much success.
I mean, it was just all my teammates passed the ball, and they had awesome passes, and they decided to go like one-on-one instead of like doing double, triple teams on me, so that just happened to work. Just worked out well, so.
It seemed like you really settled into that role and just being able to take the ball and go up strong with it and score.
Yeah, I mean, I knew once they left me one-on-one, just tried doing moves and hoping to go in.
Had you ever attempted a three-point shot before?
I have, but yeah, obviously that one, the coach told me to get one off before we left the game, and so I just kind of took a dribble off, and that obviously wasn't a very pretty one, but.
You had a big smile on your face after it. It was all in good fun, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So.
Were you aware that the 14 field goals was one shy of the Class B record, which was currently held by Coach Taverty's wife?
Oh, really? I did not know that at all. Oh, that's neat.
So I guess there's going to be peace in the Taverty household, and you are right there, and what a great run for you as a team. Talk about the team in the way you guys have been able to put together this season.
I mean, it's just been a lot of fun, and we've always had the effort there. I mean, sometimes we weren't always shooting great and everything. We always had the effort, and we were always there for each other, and it just worked out great.
Good. Elisa, thank you. Congratulations. We're going to bring in Laurel Wagner as well, another senior for Seward, and, well, this is a pretty good way to go out, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, back-to-back, I mean, it's more than I could ever ask for.
You know, just to give us some of the, I guess, an idea of what it was like being at every practice. You guys compete at such a high level and make each other better every single day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, our junior varsity has helped immensely. I mean, they make us better. We practice. Practices are so competitive. It's just battling every day. I mean, this is what we work for.
And it's been enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Good deal, Laurel. Thank you. Congratulations. Again, your Class B champions are the Seward Lady Jays for the second consecutive year. The winning streak now at 50. The bar is set awfully high for the Seward Lady Jays as they'll try to three-peat again next year with a good portion of the team coming back. This is the end of our first session here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Be sure to join us at 5 o'clock when we return to the Devaney Center for the Class D2 State Championship. That'll be followed by Class A at 7 o'clock, and then Class C2 is the nightcap. Until then, for John Bishop and Dan Hedman, I'm Kevin Suits. We'll see you again right here at the Devaney Center at 5 o'clock.
Coverage of the 2010 NSAA State High School Basketball Championships has been brought to you in part by Concordia University, One Oak Energy Marketing, Nebraska Community Colleges, and by Southeast Community College.
You're watching NET Television.